going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode on Let's Talk About Us with Uche. I am your host, Uche. To everyone who has been supporting me since day one, thank you so much for being patient. I know I have been gone for a few months. Like I mentioned before, I am really busy. I don't think I mentioned some of the things that I'm taking care of, but I'm back in school. I am getting a second graduate degree. I'm also working full time, so I'm really busy. I truly am busy. I'm not, just fooling around and just, staying dry and low, Chad. No, I've been really, really busy. Again, I'm working full time. I have a full-time job in healthcare, and at the same time, too, I am getting a second master's degree in philosophy. That has been it's a lot of reading, it's a lot of exercises, a lot of assignments, a lot of thinking, just a lot of things going on. And literally, I just have 2 days out of the week to do anything that has to do with Uche, like my regular duties, clean the home, and I'm also a homeowner. So I got a lot of projects I'm taking care of at home in my backyard. Anyone who's come to my home, you can see that there's been a lot of work. I've been living in my home for the past 3 years now. There's a lot of work. There's always a project, there's something you have to be careful of when you are buying a home, Chad, because, the projects just never end, okay? There's always a project every weekend. So I've been working on my home. I just finished a project yesterday. Matter of fact, one of the projects yesterday, I will continue sometime today or sometime this week. But yeah, there's literally a lot, going on, and it's just me, so just one person try to stay afloat, dealing with other things too, like personal issues and things like that. So it's just really been busy. So when I say I've been busy, I really do mean that I've been busy. So please forgive me. Hopefully I don't get judged as harshly. So seriously, everyone who's been supporting me since day one, everyone who's been patient with me since day one, thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate your support. And if you're new here, welcome to Let's Talk About Us with Uche. This is a platform, podcast and YouTube platform that I have created for myself, to basically ask the hard questions, try to unpack a lot of things that has to do with us from a totally different perspective. Not really because I know shit, but because I've been through shit, and I love to, use my common sense, my God-given intelligence, just to understand all this shit. What the fuck are we doing here in this world? What is all this? What does all this mean? That's what my podcast platform and my YouTube platforms are. So please, I hope you enjoy it. Please give me a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, download, subscribe. And if you're on YouTube, please hit that bell notification so anytime I upload a new video or episode, you'll be the very first to be notified. Yes, I know I am late, very, very late, but I do want to quickly talk about the current war going on in Ukraine, with Ukraine and Russia. I do not want to talk about anything that most people don't already know. Obviously, there is a war, unless you've been living under a fucking rock, Jack. It's on every social media platform, every news platform. There's a war. It's very obvious. Things are getting heated. I am not following it religiously because a few years ago, like 10 years ago, I unplugged from the media, and I've been very picky what I give my energy to because there's just a lot of fuckery in the media. So, but yes, there is a war going on, but I do not want to talk about the obvious part of the war. I do want to talk about the black people in Ukraine. Because of this war, Russia is threatening Ukraine. A lot of people have been evacuating Ukraine for the past few weeks, since last month. People have been evacuating. A lot of Ukrainians, rightfully so, have been moving to neighboring countries. I think Poland, Romania. I think there's another country. I try to find a map so you can get an idea. And for the most part, a lot of people have been successful. However, this has not necessarily been the case for a lot of black people who live in Ukraine. And by black people, these people are mostly African scholars, Africans who live in Ukraine either as a student, a business person, whatever it is, but they are not, for the most part, citizens or permanent residents of Ukraine. And these people are facing huge discrimination.
Oh, they're pushing her. They're not letting her go. They're not letting her go. Is it right? Is it right? They're not letting the black girl go. They're not letting the black girl go. We don't have arms. We are Pablo, we are students. We are dying. We are dying of cold. We are all dying of cold. We are dying of cold. Everybody go down. Everybody go down. We are dying of cold. We've been here for 3 days. We died of cold. This is unfair. This is unfair.
What rubbish? Is that? You know what, man? You should bring out your phone. They need to pay close. They not. And that's why we go there.
Yes, they will not close it. Why? Why? Because we are blacks. Why? Hey, push that one inside. Why?
What did you do this man and put him?
This problem was really some students. Because guys are the most just tired down. Студент, я сказал.
Что ты сказал? Иди туда, говорю. Нет умея.
Туда идите. Что, я не едет?
Можно? Что вы тебя посадить или что?
А вы можете стоять до люфи, у меня без проблем.
Иди, спрашивай. Иди садись.
Я слушаю на днем. Ты не пускай ничего. Ты не пускай.
Since when we be here? What's not to stay here since morning? You know what?
Ну смотри, вон, иду.
And disturb them. If you have family members who can get across to them and disturb them.
We're so stranded. We've not eaten, no place to rest. We're just here. And like we just left the cold outside for like 6 hours. We've been outside. We've been begging, pushing, dragging. Like it's been so traumatic just trying to get into the border, and we're not able to get there. Since morning, we've been told that all Nigerians, the embassy has gotten buses for us and stuff, but we've not seen any. And then like we watch other nationalities leave, and it's really, really so sad. Like people have been crying, people fainted. It's really horrible. Please, Nigeria, please come to our aid.
These are the black community here. We are not allowing any black people to enter inside the gates. We are all here. It's only Ukrainians that they are allowing in. Even the ones with kids, they're not allowing them in. They really have been here for days and nobody's asking any questions. Only Ukrainian women and kids they are allowing in through these gates. All the places blocked and all are full of blacks from different communities, from different countries. Nobody's talking to.
Shocker, I am not surprised. It's sad that I'm saying that I'm not surprised. Black people, like I've mentioned on this show time and time again, black people are the butt of a joke. Black people are the bottom of the barrel. There's levels to this shit. There's levels to being the whole race thing. Black people are the bottom of the barrel. So I'm really not surprised that black people are being discriminated against in Europe, okay, the birthplace of white supremacy. But what's really sad about this is the fact that amidst a war, they're talking about missiles and nuclear weapons and things like that. I don't know how severe it is. Like I said, I've not really been following this religiously, but from what I've seen, from what I've heard, it's pretty serious. A lot of people have died and a few buildings have been demolished and things like that. And you would think that in a time like this, that race should not be a thing. Race should not be a matter. There should not be a reason to slow down at all. But unfortunately, that's actually the case. A a lot of black people are being discriminated against. There are videos circulated, and if I can find some of these videos, I'll put them here. Hopefully YouTube doesn't flag them, because YouTube for some reason loves to censor people for dumbass shit when you talk about real shit that the media, the general media doesn't talk about, you know, like real shit that has to do with minorities. So hopefully YouTube doesn't come with the copyright and, you know, and violations and shit like that. But yeah, I'll try to find videos. You know, there are Africans who are reporting that they are being discriminated against, you know, like when Ukrainians are getting on the bus to be evacuated to the neighboring countries like Romania, Poland, black people are being told that they cannot enter the bus, you know, because it's just for Ukrainians. This is quite sad. Matter of fact, there is a video of a guy, I'll try to find it, I'll try to attach it here, who was saying that the white people in Ukraine treat their pets with more respect than black people because they don't see black people as worth it. It's really heartbreaking. Again, if you've been following my platform, you know that this is nothing new for me. I've been talking about this for such a long time. I remember when COVID-19, when I first started reporting on COVID-19, I was talking about the discrimination going on in China towards black people, and how that has been happening for such a long time. But for the first time, it's being brought to the media's attention, because for the first time in China, white people are being discriminated against. You know, foreigners, black or white, are being discriminated against. Now, all of a sudden, CNN is talking about it, BBC is talking about it. But, you know, discrimination against black people in Asia, and not just Asia, but all throughout the world, Middle East and Asia, especially South America included, has been happening for decades, for a really, really long time. I'm not surprised about this at all. But the point I want to make in this particular podcast episode is, once again, black people, if this is not a wake-up call, I don't know what the fuck is. Especially black people in Africa, we need to get our shit together. Seriously, I know it's sad. I know it's very counterintuitive, you know, but the West is not the answer. A lot of people in Nigeria may not necessarily believe me, because, you know, like, I understand from their perspective. It's easy for me to say because I live in America, I live in the West, you know, and I live a better life and things like that. I get it. Trust me, I get it. Part of the reason why I live here, I truly am blessed to live in America. Trust me, I really am. This is one of the best things that's ever happened to me. And part of the reason why I live here, because of the family I was born into, you know, being brought here by my family at a really young age. And I truly do appreciate it. I see it as a destiny that's meant to be, you understand? But at the end of the day, I feel like collectively, we, and by we, I mean black people, including black people in diaspora, black people on the continent, black people literally anywhere, child. We need to start looking at building our own. Like, seriously, it's quite sad. It's really unfortunate, because I'm one of those black people, especially black Africans or Africans in diaspora, who genuinely care about Africa. I really do. Anyone who knows me on a very personal level knows that I've been planning and looking for ways to go back to Africa, to invest in Africa, you know, even if it's just to have a home in Africa, to have some type of business in Africa, you know. And like I mentioned before, it is one of my bucket lists to live in Africa for at least one more year before I die, before I exit this world. It really is my bucket list. But unfortunately, the situations in Africa is not quite supportive for someone like me who has settled in the West. You know, the number one thing that is not available is security. Africa, I don't want to say Africa, I don't want to generalize Africa, but Nigeria, for example, insecurity is so high, lack of opportunities, you know, literally nothing works, and that is very sad. This is a wake-up call for us to do something different. Okay, we have been dancing to the rhythms of white supremacy for such a long time, and it does not work. It has never worked, and it never will work. You have to understand that these European standards that we worship were created by Europeans for Europeans. They were not created for us. And as long as we keep patronizing these standards, we will always inevitably meet our doom, because it's not for us. We need to start working on ourselves, bro. Like, our education system needs to be revamped, in my opinion. Our religious institutions need to be revamped. Our financial institutions, our government, political bodies needs to be revamped. All of these things are Eurocentric standards. They've never served us, and they would never serve us. Right? And I do understand that these are more so like a collective effort, you know, like it's not really an individual person's job to go out there and start changing the education system in Africa and things like that. I understand that. But on a personal level, I've talked about this so many times. On a personal level, there's so much that we can do. Starting with yourself, you know, like when you know that something has not worked for such a long time, whatever behavior it is that you've been having, you know, whatever behavior, whatever action, whatever it is that you've been doing, and you know that it hasn't worked, be honest with yourself and try something different. Work on yourself. Like seriously, there's no reason why you should walk around with the regret or I could have, knowing that you could have done something better, but you still choose not to do anything better about the situation. I think you're doing yourself a disservice and you're doing the community at large a disservice. It can be something as simple as being able to get your shit together before you marry somebody. Unfortunately, being Nigerian, I'm not popping on Facebook anymore, but back in the day when I used to be on Facebook, I've seen so many weddings, so many weddings. A lot of people getting married left and right. Some of these people, no shade. Trust me, no shade. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. I know some of these people ain't got shit going on in their bank account. Okay? Like, seriously, like zero. Again, no disrespect to anyone. I'm really not trying to disrespect anyone, but I'm still speaking facts. I've seen people who have asked me to send them money in the past. And then still within the same year or something like that, you getting married. What the fuck? What the fuck did you think was going to happen? You don't have a sustainable job for yourself. You don't have a sustainable income. You don't have much going on for you. And for some fucking weird reason, you think that the right thing for you to do is for you to be betrothed to somebody else, to walk down the aisle with somebody else. And yes, then the kids come. You start having kids. These people start having kids that you cannot even afford to take care of. And I'm just talking about financial part of it. A lot of us, we don't have emotional stability. A lot of us, we have not worked on ourselves. Like there's a lot of generational trauma and also trauma from the society and the world at large, that the world just projects towards us. A lot of us, we have not healed from a lot of all that bullshit. And we've not developed a very healthy, pragmatic shield against the other bullshit that keeps bombarding us every single day. And unfortunately, we transfer a lot of that hurt and toxicity down to our kids. This is why I've talked about in the past, in some of the episodes that I talked about in the past, that the average Nigerian family is very toxic. It's very, very toxic and hostile. And hostility is so common. And the hostility literally kills you. Physically and emotionally and spiritually as well. I can break it down, but I don't think I have enough time to break that down today because I'm trying to keep this short. But seriously, we need to start working on ourselves. I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm pouring water in rocks at this point, But even if I do get to somebody, I don't even care who you are. You can live in the Americas, you can live in the West, you can live in Nigeria, you can live in Africa, literally anywhere. If I can get to somebody else, do something different. Don't just conform to what your mom did, to what your dad did, to what your ancestors did, tradition, religion, whatever the fuck it is that they've taught us back in the day. Do something different. We need to start looking at redefining our own success. Success doesn't have to do anything with whiteness. If your success somehow has to tie with whiteness, let it be. Let God bless you with that. Like if your success if you being yourself means that you end up in the West, end up in America, end up in Australia, wherever, let that be. If you being happy means that you end up marrying somebody who's white, a white man or white woman, let that be. If you, I don't know, whatever it is that white supremacy keeps telling us that, success is. If God blesses you with that, let that be. But that should not be the only definition of success. The West should not be our definition of success. We need to start revamping things, our systems, and rethinking to fight this white supremacist shit. Because at the end of the day, seriously, a lot of these white folks, and I know I am generalizing, but a lot of these European countries, a lot of white supremacy does not give two fucks about your black ass. It doesn't give two fucks about our black ass. It does not care about us. Never has and never will. That's why it's called white supremacy. Again, do not confuse white supremacy with white people. There's a difference. White people, there's nothing wrong with being a white person, just like there's nothing wrong with being a black person or a Mexican or whatever, Hispanic, Asian, whatever it is. But white supremacy is the belief that white is better. The closer you are to whiteness, the better you are, the better off you are. That is wrong, okay? And we need to fight that shit with every fucking thing we got. Because the more we subscribe to this, especially as black people, we are also perpetuating our own demise. Anyway, this is the end of it for this particular episode. Like I said, I think it's very sad that a lot of black people are being treated like shit, especially Africans are being treated like shit in the midst of war. Again, I understand, in Europe, racism has been around for centuries, child. So this is nothing new. But the fact that this is happening in the middle of a war, this is quite sad. And I don't know, I know a few weeks ago when I researched, I don't think that I didn't see any major news outlets reporting this. The only people that I saw reporting were independent black content creators. Anyway, this is the end of today's episode. I just wanted to come out here and share that, and also apologize. I know that I've been gone for a while. Like I said, I really have been busy. I'm not just sitting here just, collecting dust. No, I really have been busy putting in work in school, putting in work at work, literally, child, and also putting work on myself. I've been doing a lot of readings, and I may be doing some book reviews very soon, because I've been doing a lot of self-reflection, self-help books, and also a lot of philosophy books that I'm really, really enjoying reading, and I hope to share someday. But yeah, thank you so much for sticking with me. Thank you so much for listening to the end of this particular podcast episode and YouTube video. Like I said, please don't forget to download, share with your friends and family. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and please do not forget to hit that bell notification so anytime I upload a video, you'll be the very first to be notified. Please follow me on social media at Let's Talk with Uche, Instagram, and Let's Talk with Uche, Facebook, and my email is letstalkwithuche@gmail.com. Thank you so much. Until next time, bye-bye.